Hey Annie, thank you so much for joining me today to talk about your experiences in the mastermind. Do you want to share a little bit about what you do and where you're based?
I am a physio, so I'm based in Sydney. I own a practice in Ryde area. So I do women's health, and also I've started specializing in cancer rehabilitation, so to see men and women who have breast cancer. Yes.
Yeah. And that was something that we've worked on in the program, isn't it, for you to focus more on that space? Have you seen a shift in your caseload to those kind of clients?
A lot more women's health, and breast cancer has started to, we have a few more cases and more referrals and contacted referrals now.
Cool.
So, yeah.
So apart from that, what made you join the program?
Well, it was at the time where it was just after COVID, we were starting to reopen. I had learned that my rent was going up by like 30%. And I was tired of working full time and working late at night to do my pays and HR and sort of, extinguishing fires. So I thought I could use some help with learning how to do marketing and make me do it as well. It's not just like, it's not like you have to you got to go through a DVD and all that and then forget about it.
Yeah. Did you have any fears or reservations about joining before you joined?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess like anything, it's like, it's a little bit, I thought it was a bit of an investment, but I had some hesitation because it was just, I had this big thing with the rent that was going up and all that. So, so I was a bit stressed about that, but then I just decided to jump in anyway and trust that I could regain it.
Yeah. And so you mentioned a bit about the rent going up and your hours. Was there any other challenges you were facing in your practice right at that point?
Maybe that we were not doing the newsletters very effectively, and the communication with the patients.
Yeah.
I just wanted to have the sort of what it's done in the industry, so how to make it sort of streamline it and make it look professional.
And I think when we first spoke, you were your caseload was really, really varied, and it was a bit of whoever just called and wanted to see you, as opposed to being the kind of clients that you really wanted to see and enjoyed seeing.
So that was one thing as well. So everyone wanted to see me, and then my hours were like 8 to 4 and end up being like 76, and then so I didn't have much I guess control over my caseload, and I wanted actually to hire another physio to be able to take up some of that slack from, if someone was sick, then I had to increase my hours again and not be really able to do anything in the practice. So
yeah, or at home if you're working those kind of hours either.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what were you hoping joining the mastermind would do for your business?
I guess just have someone to make me accountable, to be the boss, to be the owner, like not just like to be the clinician, but to be the one that makes the decisions on the direction of the business. And I guess having more of a vision of I'm like, the owner, as opposed to just see whoever needs to be seen because they want to see me, basically.
Yeah. And what impact has the program had on the practice? Like you mentioned just before we started recording that you've cut your hours down and you're now not doing those evenings. What other impacts it had?
I actually decreased my caseload to like probably 2/3. Well, instead of being full, now it's 2/3.
Yeah.
And I have some hours that I actually do some admin, sort of meetings with my staff, doing the mentoring as well, and really speak to the referrers.
Yeah.
And also, I decrease my hours. Basically, that's also good for my family life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has that had a big impact on being able to be more present in the evenings and not being trying to run payroll and those kind of things?
Yes. Yeah. So I've basically I do my payrolls now during the weekdays, not on a Sunday.
You're not the only one. I'm absolutely confident of that.
Yeah.
And so what you mentioned that you've had a couple of new physios come on, like where are they at? Are they capacity wise, are they getting towards being full?
Yeah, so I've hired a new physio a few months ago, and now she's full-time. So she's taken up her full caseload, and she's able to see some of my specialty patients as well, which is a good, and actually she's, with the work that we've done, and also like the treatment planning that, we've done a bit of mentoring with that as well. That's really helped build her confidence in in sort of building that rapport with the patients and getting them to come back. And the same for also the more experienced physios, when I've discussed the treatment plan that we had the training as well. So that's been very good for the older physios who are saying, oh well, you can come in next week and then you should be fine.
So you said that you've had that reduction in your hours. Have you seen any reduction in your revenue though, or have you been able to reduce your hours and actually keep your revenue and pay the same because you filled these other therapists up?
So more hours, more revenue for the clinic. So I think I think it's increased. It's going to be hard to say right now because I don't have the numbers right there. But at least I have one physio full. So basically we've just increased our capacity by one full time at least. Even if I'm not there, I had a part-time who came in 1.5 days and then a full-time. So for those hours that I'm not.
Then impacts your profit because you're not necessarily paying any more people when people were full to capacity when they weren't. But I think one of the things for you, I think we focused on was you not having to take a reduction in your pay to reduce the amount of hours you're doing the business. So to leverage your team to reduce your workload, but not impact your income. So I'm glad that it sounds like we did that. What would you say to somebody who's thinking about joining?
I think it's a very good experience to have someone sort of guiding you through the process, and it opens your mind really just to what's the future like, and gives you your assurance that you have, you're working towards a really good goal, as opposed to being day in, day out seeing patients. You don't really see the end of it. So having a goal and working towards it is really good, and someone that keeps you accountable is what's is the best. I mean, for me, that's been really the best.
Yeah, I think that's important for a lot of people. Like as mums, we get pulled in so many directions that it's easy to fall behind with things because we're trying to be 6 different people. And I think in some programs where you're made to feel really bad for that, like kind of whipped because you're not keeping up, that kind of then just makes us withdraw and be like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to keep up with this, so I won't do it. And that's something that I hope comes through, that I'm always like, just catch up when you can, get what you need, because you'll get what you need from the program, whatever's going on in your life. So but lovingly holding you accountable, I think is maybe how I do it. There's still accountability, isn't there? It's just I'm not like whipping you to be accountable.
No, that's right. So I guess you have to do some work, otherwise it's not gonna, doesn't change. I think it's the readiness to change.
Yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah. So what surprised you most about the mastermind?
I think I've achieved my goals.
But that surprised you?
Well, I didn't think so, but I'm sort of getting there with the, decreasing my hours too. I'm on the way anyway. So
you
maybe
are definitely on the way.
There's a few hours that I need to decrease again, but then also, I think it's getting towards what I want. It's actually my short midterm goals are on track.
Yeah.
So that's not that it's I think there's something that's not surprised me, but it helped me a lot is that I got a prize from the local business awards from
yes, I remember that.
Answering all the questions on the business directions and all that, and just applying it with the program in mind. So so we won the award, and actually that's made the practice more attractive to hire.
Yeah, because you've got that award
staff.
now. Yeah, it's great. And is there anything else you'd like to add about the program or working with me?
Well, it's been really good. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I really liked having you in the program, and it's I know some of the connections Tori was mentioning yesterday that you guys caught up, so it's really nice to hear that people who've met in the online space, they're meeting up personally. That's nice to see.
It's been that's actually nice to have that community of actually mums actually as well, because there's a lot of men business owners, physio owners, and the thing is men will run their business very differently, and I think in my business I want to have this sort of motherly I just want, and actually they're all female as well.
Yeah,
my staff.
I think it's easy for male practice owners to create a distinction between their business and their family life, and when their business needs more, it's just a given that they give it more, and that there isn't too much of that, like, okay, well, how am I going to balance this? Whereas as mums in business, we're like, we have to balance. If we go, oh, I'm just going to do an extra 10 hours in my business, like, we can't do that. Like, things fall apart if we just disappear for 10 hours that we weren't expected to. So I think it has to be different, and it's good to have a group of women who all understand that, but still keeping massive goals.
Yay.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your experiences. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.